I came here tonight to play chess. A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, before you move.
On guard. I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
I'd like to try your Wu-Tang style. Let's begin then.
All right. Welcome again, scholars. So today we are going to look at En Passant, because some of our scholars still have trouble with this move. And I know some of us have gotten it, but this is the most messed up move that I witnessed in the classroom. So we're going to take some time and go through it. Also, once that's done, I'm going to let the scholars go, and I'll focus more on the parents who have decided to come and learn chess. So I'll go back and look at some more of the chess moves and the chessboard and everything. So even, some of the scholars, if you want to go back and get a refresher, you can be free to jump in on that too. I will assign En Passant. Actually, En Passant will be assigned. You've probably already seen it actually. And you just go ahead and jump on Chess Magnet School and knock that out. I'll give you a week for that. All right, so let's jump into it. We are going to go to En Passant, French for in passing. All right, here we go. En passant. Normally, a pawn moves either once or twice on its initial move. Of course, pawns take diagonally. So, for example, this pawn, if it's black's move, black can take this pawn because the pawn takes diagonally. Same here. If it was white's move, pawn can now capture this pawn diagonally. So it can move forward, but it would take diagonal. So since the pawn has the choice of moving once or twice on its first move, if I choose to move this pawn twice, this pawn can still take this pawn as if it only moved one time. All right, so we're going to see that in action here shortly. So again, if this pawn moves twice, this opposing pawn can still take this pawn as if it only moved one square, because normally pawns move one square at a time. So normally this pawn will move here and this pawn will take diagonally. But if this pawn chose to move out twice, this pawn will still take, can still choose to take as if it only moved one square. If you're going to use En Passant, you have to use it, or En Passant, you have to use it on that very next move. You can't do some other stuff and then come back to it. So the correct answer for this question will be B4. Okay. All right, so can you find the En Passant here? So again, we're looking for a pawn that we can move twice. So what move for white would allow black to capture En Passant? All right, so let's look. All right, so if we move this pawn twice, this pawn can still capture, but it will be a normal capture. Okay, this pawn will just move up. This pawn could capture, that would be a normal capture. This pawn also, if it moved, it can capture the black pawn, and this black pawn will capture back. It was a normal capture. This pawn move, nothing. It'll just be moving up one square. This pawn can move once or twice, okay? And nothing will be in danger, well, it won't be in danger of being captured by anything because there are no opposing pawns here. Because remember, pawns can only take diagonally. They cannot take straight ahead. All right, so that leaves you with this pawn. This pawn, if it moves twice, this pawn can still take it as if it only moved one square. So that means we're moving D to D4. So D4 is our move. So D4 allows this C pawn to capture on D3. All right, here's another. What move for white will allow black to capture en passant? Okay, so let's look at some pawns. I'm going to start on this side, just for explanation purposes. So here we have this pawn moving straight, nothing attacking it if it moves forward, so it'll just be a simple move. Or capture if it chooses to. Capture and then a recapture, all normal. Okay, this pawn is stuck. It cannot move at all. Remember, it takes diagonally. It can't move diagonally. It can only take diagonally. This pawn is stuck. This pawn. I feel like I'm gonna do this little piggy or something. Anyway, this pawn moves either taking diagonally or moving straight ahead. All right, but nothing is here to take. All right, next we have this pawn moving straight ahead, either one square or twice, with the possibility of being captured by either the F or D pawn. This pawn could actually capture the C pawn or just move straight ahead with no capture afterwards if it chooses to move ahead. This pawn, if it moves, the C pawn, if it moves to C3, this pawn will then capture if it chooses to, but that will also be a normal capture. All right, so we come to our A pawn. Again, if a pawn is in its original position, it can move one square or two squares. If this pawn moves two squares out, this opposing pawn can still take it as if it only moved one square. So we're looking at this pawn A to A4. So A4, black can capture. B takes A3. So B takes A3. All right, here's another. Make a move for white that will allow black to capture en passant. All right, looking over here. So pawn can take B5 or can move straight ahead. So no en passant there. B can move straight ahead with the possibility of being captured by the C pawn, but that will be a normal capture. Pawn takes diagonally. This pawn is in its original position. It can move one square or two squares. If I move it one square, this pawn can take diagonally. That will be a regular capture. If this pawn chose to move twice, then this pawn can still capture as if the pawn only moved one square. That is en passant. So this pawn, if it moves straight ahead twice, or if it moves two squares, this pawn can capture, or this black pawn can capture en passant. So let's look at it. We're gonna move two squares up, and then this pawn can capture en passant. That's what it looks like. Let's look at it again. Pawn moves twice, black can capture en passant. Okay. Normally, a pawn moves once, and I can capture regularly. Even if I move twice, the pawn can still capture as if the pawn only moved one square. Because again, normally pawns only move one square. Okay, let's keep it going. Okay, let's just go ahead and find, well, let's quickly go through here. Pawn, that's a normal capture. Or I can move straight. This pawn is stuck. Okay. This pawn is stuck. Remember, we move straight ahead, but we take diagonally, so this pawn is stuck. This pawn can take or move straight ahead, both normal moves. This pawn, actually, this pawn is stuck, okay? It can only move straight ahead, so this pawn is stuck. This pawn is also stuck. This pawn has the option of moving once or twice. It is in its original position, so it can move either once or twice. So if I choose to move out twice, this pawn can either take or this pawn can capture en passant, because normally the pawn moves one square at a time. So the pawn captures b3, that is en passant. All right, looking at it again. Pawn moves 2 squares. This pawn can capture, a pawn can capture b3 en passant. Okay. Again, that would be a regular move. If I choose to move out twice, this pawn can still capture as if it only moved 1 square. Okay. All right, make a move for white that will allow black to capture en passant. Let me give you a couple seconds to figure it out. All right. So if you chose the C pawn, you are correct. So this C pawn is in its original position. Actually, it's the only pawn in its original position. These pawns have already moved. So once you've moved, you can only move 1 square at a time from then on. Since this pawn is in its original position, I don't know if I said that before, but yeah. Since this pawn is in its original position, it's the only pawn that can move out either once or twice. So we're going to take that pawn, move it twice, allowing this pawn to capture en passant. All right, let's try another. Again, let me give you a couple seconds to figure it out. All right, so if you guess the E pawn, you are correct. Pawn, and we do have a couple in their original positions. These 4 pawns are in their original position, but this is the pawn that we need. I'm gonna take that, move it twice out. That allows the D pawn to take E3 en passant, also putting the king in danger. And capture. It's called a check. Okay, another. Make a move for white that will allow black to capture en passant. Looking at all your pawns, which one can I move for en passant? These 2 pawns are stuck. This pawn is stuck. This pawn is stuck. This pawn can capture or move, but it's not in its original position, so there's no en passant possibility here. It can either move or take normally. This is the pawn that we're looking for. This pawn can move either once or twice, since it hasn't moved yet. If I move out twice, that allows this pawn to capture en passant. Because again, normally a pawn moves 1 square at a time. If I move out twice, this pawn can still capture as if that piece only moved 1 square. Okay, pawn, make a move for white that will allow black to capture en passant. And you got a lot of pieces on the board. Okay. All right, so we have pawns, moving 1 square, 1 square. We have pawns in their original positions, which are the ones we should be looking for en passant possibility. This one moves with a normal capture. This one can move with an en passant capture, en passant. So here, if I move out twice, this pawn can capture en passant. I'm just gonna call it quits right there. I will see you all next lesson. All right, good night.
We saw them practicing with each other. Their kung fu is first class.